Delta Force's newest season has launched, and they've announced a ton of content they want to release throughout the entire year of 2025. So when the devs reached out about wanting to sponsor a video, specifically a beginner's guide, I thought this was the perfect time since I've been wanting to make this video for a while. So this is my ultimate Delta Force beginner's guide. Thank you so much to Delta Force for sponsoring this video. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Before we get too far, I do want to mention two quick things. One, this video is going to be centered on the operations mode. Delta Force has a few different modes. It's got the warfare mode, which is kind of the big team battle, vehicles, infantry, that kind of stuff. The operations, which is the extraction shooter, and the Black Hawk Down campaign mode. This video is going to be focused on the operations mode. A lot of this will transfer over to some of the warfare stuff, but it's focused on the operations mode. And secondly, this video is probably going to be pretty long and pretty dense. There is a lot of information in here, a lot of menus to sort through, and my goal with this video is to kind of give you everything you need to know, at least a decent understanding of just about everything in the game so that you can be confident and have some really good first raids. I also want this to be pretty evergreen so that you can come back really at any time, even if it's a little bit after this video is published, and you can get really good information. If you don't make it through in one sitting, that's understandable, or if you want to skip to something specific, everything is going to be timestamped down below. If you need to come back to this video later, or like I said, if you just want a specific answer now and then come back to other things later, everything is going to be timestamped so you can get the information that you want or come back to the information that you want. With all that out of the way, let's get into what Delta Force is and what the operations experience is like. It's an extraction shooter, so from a high level, what you're doing is gearing up with gear from your stash, picking your map, and deploying into a raid. You're going to be fighting other real players, other AI and bosses. You're going to be trying to complete quests, get loot, amass wealth, and get out. If you die, you lose everything that you have on you except for what's in your secure container. And if you win, you get to extract with everything that you found in that raid. You get to amass your wealth, level up, and progress your characters. This mode is really all about the tension and stress of knowing that at any moment you can lose the stuff that you have on you. That really adds a whole new level to the PvP in this game. Knowing that if you're successful, you get to take what that player had on them, you get to extract with that, and you get to make that gear yours. Sometimes it's gear that's much better than what you brought in, and that high from being able to do that is very addictive. And then there is also the stress of knowing that at any moment you can get killed and you lose everything that you brought in with you. That is kind of the core experience of an extraction shooter. That's what makes these games so fun. Also, the loot economy in Delta Force has been something that so far I really enjoy. There is a lot of loot. It is all over the place. It's color coded, so you kind of know, purple loot is better than blue, gold is better than purple, and red is the best. And you really do get these crazy dopamine hits of finding a red item that's huge, worth millions of alloy, and it's bigger than what you can fit in your secure container. And now the real stress sets in of trying to get out with this item that's super expensive. And when you do, the high of listing that thing and selling it for 3 or 4 million alloy on the market is really great. So the stress, the tension, that's at the core of extraction shooters, and that is kind of the experience. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the game and start working through everything you need to know so that you can be as successful as possible. So hopping right in, we're going to be at the start screen up in the top left. We're actually going to kind of come back to this once we have some more information so we know how to gear up and get ready for a raid. But we're going to start by going through all these main tabs up at the top. Obviously, the next one is your stash. This is pretty self-explanatory, very similar to other extraction shooters. If you've played Escape from Tarkov in the past, a lot of this is going to be pretty familiar to you. Everything you have in your stash here, everything you have on your character on the left, your secure container, your safe box. So anything in here you will not lose when you die. So put expensive ammo, expensive meds or something in there. Or if you find really expensive items in the raid and you want to get out and sell them, put them in your safe box. That way, if you die, you don't lose them. There's several different sizes of safe boxes, and we'll come back to that when we talk about seasons and the battle pass. If we scroll down, you have the card holder. So there are different sizes of key card holders. These are like baked in key tools or something like that. If you've played Tarkov, where each map you can take in a few different of the key cards that open locked rooms or something like that. You can get different sizes. The base one, I believe, is 4. The special one I have allows me to take in 6. You can get even more premium ones that let you take in even more, but that's what the key card holder is. You can't put anything in here other than key cards, and you don't lose them when you die. So you don't have to put your key cards in your secure container. Other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. You got all your gear, you put your gear on, and you gear up from here. You are able to access a lot of different menus from here and even sell from here. We're going to talk more about the economy and the auction house, the flea market later on. But if you have any item and you want to sell it, you can click sell. This supply station offer is basically selling it to the traders, selling it for its base value. And then the auction house is selling it on the flea market, on the auction house. And as you can see, you want to kind of double check because some things aren't really worth selling on the market, or if something is bound to you and you can't sell it on the market, you're going to want to sell it there. But some things like really good ammo, you can actually get a lot more for by selling on the flea market. You can actually get a lot more for by selling on the auction house. Additionally, if you're looking to purchase something, you can right click on anything and click source. That's going to tell you any different way that you can purchase that item. But this is your stash, pretty normal. What's interesting about Delta Force though is you can upgrade your stash a little bit vertically, but the main upgrades to the stash are with these stash tabs. So as you can see, I have a few different crates attached to my stash tabs. That will make more sense later, but the stash can grow in more ways than just adding lines. Most of it is adding these tabs and then putting specific gear crates on them. Additionally, down at the bottom, you have an auto sort button. So you can sort your stash at any time, and you can sort these crates as well individually or all together. And then you also have a batch sell item. So once again, there's just kind of like one trader you're selling to if you're not selling stuff on the auction house. So you can click batch sell and then just kind of click all the different things that you want to sell. Click sell. It's going to show you how much you have, what you're going to get for it, and give you a confirmation box. So the batch sell and the auto sort are really nice. Also, some interesting things like up at the top, gear value. It's going to tell you the value of everything you actually have on your character. That will come in handy later. Other than that, pretty self-explanatory tab. Moving over to the operators tab, Delta Force is a operators kind of style. It's kind of like a hero shooter type of thing. I'm not going to go through each operator individually and kind of break down all of that. It's super easy to kind of discern by yourself, and you're going to want to play with all of them to see which ones you like anyway. If you hit F on any of the operators, it's going to tell you all of their kind of attributes. There's like an ultimate ability that each one has, 2 different kind of like gadgets that they can have, and then a passive trait. All of them are going to have that 2 gadgets, 1 ultimate ability, and a passive trait. You can go up through here, hit F on all of them, read them. They're broken down into kind of the basic stuff: assault, medic, support, and recon. And then if you right click on a character, you can go through all of the customization you have. If you have any skins, name cards, emotes, special executions, or watches, anything like that. From this screen, you can read up about all of them. But once again, I suggest you kind of just hop in and play with all of them. They have been relatively balanced, and their ultimate abilities aren't too out of control. So read up on what each operator does. Once again, I suggest that you play with all of them and figure out, you know, kind of the synergies of your squad, the people that you like to play with. They are relatively balanced. I've seen a lot of opinions about which one the best one is, which is kind of a good sign if nobody can really agree that this one is definitively the best. They're going to continue to tweak these, and they will add more operators as well. So go around here, tinker through, play with them all. Moving over, we have the departments, and these are kind of like the different traders in Delta Force. They're broken up into mission and supply station. So in mission, this is all of the missions that you have right now. You've got the assault battalion, the medic bay, the tactical warfare unit, base support battalion, the T&E lab, and then the seasonal quests over here. You click on any one of these and it's going to show you the quests that you have available from any one of them. Pretty self-explanatory. The quest design is pretty good in the sense that you always know what you have to do and where you need to do it. You don't really need to be looking up any wikis, which is really nice. If you click on whatever you have, in this case, assault battalion, it's going to show you what you get by leveling that person up. You level them up by completing quests for them. And then down here at the bottom left, if you click on mission overview, it's actually going to show you all of the different missions that they have, how close you are to completing each mission chain, which is kind of nice because it's also going to show you some of the bigger rewards that you're getting at the end here. Some really nice armors, unlocking specific crates, or even secure containers when it comes to the seasonal pass. You can do that for each of the different traders. There's 5 of them. And then the season, this is going to change every single season. And if you go to the mission overview here, this is how you obtain the biggest safe container, the safe box, the 3x3. You can get 1-day passes by completing various quests. And then also if you go down the main quest chain, you can unlock the 3x3 secure container for the entire duration of the season. So it's nice that you can earn that in game, and it's going to show you all the different missions here. So this one is going to rotate, but these are the main 5 that you'll be doing missions for as you go through Delta Force. If we swap over to supply station, this is kind of what you're buying or purchasing from them. Once again, same names, same 5 things. If you click on them, you don't often buy things from each of the traders. Like, I don't really know what exactly each one has in stock, and a lot of them are barters anyway. You buy most of the things off the auction house, but it definitely can be helpful if you pay attention. A lot of times the barters that are offered here can be really good. Also, a little quality of life tip in the menus, at any of the menus, if you see this little shopping cart icon, click it and it's going to say everything that you need for this barter or for this trade. This is how much you can purchase it off of the auction house for. Click buy, and then boom, you don't have to go through it and buy all these things individually. Once again, most of the time, most of the stuff is just bought directly off the auction house, but if you've got a keen eye, sometimes you can get really good deals here. And then each trader also has containers you can get. These are what slot into those stash tabs. So the file box is a 9x4 and it can hold folder items. He also sells weapon crates. You know, this is a premium weapon crate. It's 9x8, 72 cells. I slot that into a tab on my stash, and this can hold weapons and attachments. Now, what is required? It'll let you know down here. In this case, for the intermediate one, a bunch of red items, really rare stuff. We click that shopping cart icon, I can buy this for $6 million or coin or whatever, like the Technic alloy. Sorry, I always forget what the currency is called. So for 6 million. So there are tons of money sinks, which I actually personally think are really good. You don't need these crates if you don't want to, but if you grind the game and end up with a ton of money, there are these pretty significant money sinks, which is nice. And then each trader also offers like some skins you can get when you level them all the way up for the warfare mode as well, and various other kind of cosmetic related things. We go through the medical station. It's going to be the same thing. You can purchase or barter for a lot of the medicals. You can purchase or barter for a lot of the mission items or things that you need to craft. Then you have your material crates. These hold collectible items, which is a whole kind of suite of items. You also have your med crates. Once again, all these containers are what you would slot into the tabs on your stash, and then a few cosmetics as well. So that goes all the way through all of the different traders. As you unlock them, you unlock the purchase for more things or the purchase for more containers or more barters, and that just kind of keeps going. And then the T&E lab is a bit differently. The T&E lab, if you click view T&E results, his kind of barter system rotates much more frequently. For example, this refreshes in 10 hours and 20 minutes. And sometimes you can get really expensive attachments or armors or optics or something like that here for barters that are for really cheap. So from right here, I could get this for 1,849 Technic alloy. If I wanted to search this off the auction house, it's about 15,000 Technic alloy right now. So these rotate. There's no guarantee you're going to get anything good, but this is worth checking really frequently. You know, this is almost like Fence. Like he can have really good stuff. And then they also have the craft work thing is kind of event based. We'll go over the events later, but event based items as well. So you can look for these coins and get a really good helmet. These two things rotate pretty frequently, so definitely come back for these. And then this is where you get some card holders, some more collection crates, more cosmetics, same stuff like that. So that is the departments, your mission givers, and where you do a lot of purchasing outside of the auction house. And that leads us right into the auction house. So the way this works in Delta Force is once you get access to it, it is completely open. You can buy anything in the game off the auction house. I think you have to get to level maybe like 5 to get access to it. But once you do, you can go right in and buy the best ammo, the best armors in the game, gear, ballistic vest. Right here, you can just go ahead and buy one of these. I don't think any of these red are on the market right now, but you can buy these gold armors right off the rip for 400k if you want. I wouldn't advise it, but you can. What's nice about the auction house is that it's going to show you how many are for sale and at what price. And it doesn't really show you historical data, but the more you look at this and the more you'll see, it is very much so a live market. These prices are not fixed. I've played games before where the flea market kind of just like homogenizes into everything has this price and that never really changes. I know a lot of people that play the market, buy low, sell high. They buy, you know, ammo when everybody's crafting it and flooding the market with it, and then they sell it on the weekends when everybody wants to buy ammo. So you definitely watch the prices of things that you want to buy and then kind of adjust accordingly. For the sake of armor, since we have this pulled up right here, you can actually buy new, nearly new, or damaged armors. Armor, I believe, is the only thing that you can sell it in like multiple qualities. Now, if you buy a damaged one, you might have to, you know, pay to repair it, and it's not going to be as effective of an armor, but you can oftentimes save a lot. You know, this is 391,000 Technic alloy, nearly new is 316, and damage is 241. You're going to have to pay to repair it, but it's just interesting to know that that stuff is there. Also, any item from the flea market, you can mark it and add it to your favorites. Then it's going to show up here in your favorites bar. Also, if you click list, it's going to show you anything that you have listed right here. Now, like we said from earlier, you can from your stash, right click something, click sell, and add it to the auction house. Or if you want it to come to auction house, click list and then kind of drag things over. You can list them here as well. When you're listing things on the auction house, it's once again going to kind of give you all the information of how much and approximately what price. It's going to auto populate to around what the lowest price is. And then normally what I do is just click the minus and go a little bit low. There is a tax. If you go here, you know, the upfront deposit, 7,000, the handling fee, yada, yada, yada. It's going to show you what you're putting it up for and the revenue you're going to get if it sells. So I like to click list and then click the minus just a few times. I like my stuff selling really fast. Once again, you can play the market and, you know, maybe add more because you know eventually it's going to sell, but that's kind of how I do it. And then you can list things. You have a certain amount of slots available that can be upgraded as well once we get to the black site. But here's everything you have listed, and then also a full record of everything you've purchased and everything you've sold on the flea market if for any reason you wanted that. Other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. No use in going through all of these different items. Anything that you want, anything you need, you can buy off the auction house. It's shared amongst all the players, so there's almost always what you're looking for. It just depends on if you want to spend the money. That being said, we move over to the black site. Now, this is kind of like the hideout in Escape from from Tarkov, but for Delta Force, this is actually a physical place you can go if you hit tab. I know my camera's covering it, but in the bottom left, you can click enter black site, or you click tab. You can actually go into your hideout, run around, look at all the different things, go to the firing range, go to the med station. There's not a whole lot of reason to, but if you want to, you can. But there's 2 tabs here under black site, upgrade and produce. Upgrade is going to basically show you all of the different things you can upgrade. Now, I know a lot of players when they first started playing kind of slept on this. This is incredibly important. We'll do a super quick TLDR of each one, but for example, the CSD, this increases a lot of the base stats of your character when you're playing. So I'm level 5. If I wanted to get to level 6, my max stamina would go from 30 to 38, and my stamina recovery would go from plus 30% to plus 38%. Now, if you click this little magnifying glass right here, it's going to show you what you get at each level and what the maximum amount of levels are. So this goes up to level 7. Your stamina and your stamina recovery go up by 50% at that point, and your movement speed when you're down is up 10%. These can be very, very impactful over the long run. It's going to show you what's required for you to go to the next thing, and then what items you need and how much it's going to cost. Once again, shopping cart, we're talking about money sinks. This would be 1.2 million to upgrade this, but it is probably worth it. And it's kind of the same for the rest of them. The firing range is going to increase how much weight you can carry while you're in raids. This has its own expenses associated with it. And then some of them are crafting related. So there's 4. The Cyber Warfare Division allows you to craft attachments. The higher the level, the more attachments and guns that you can craft, and the quicker you craft them. We'll talk about producing things later. This is what increases how many auction house slots you have. Also just base operations XP in your raids, which is nice. The armor bench allows you to craft armor. Once again, really nice armors, and the higher level you go, the quicker they craft. The stash, this is where you're going to increase the amount of stash space you have and how many of those separate tabs you have for expansion crates. Pretty self-explanatory. And then the workbench is going to be crafting ammo, and the pharmacy is going to be crafting meds. So split between 4 things that allow you to craft and 4 separate things that increase the base stats of your playing experience. It's expensive. Once again, we're talking about money sinks, but it is highly worth it for sure. Now we can talk about producing things. So these are those 4 areas of the Black Knight that allow you to make stuff. So I've got a few things that I've made here. This is a great way to just get a hold of high tier things if you want them, or a great way to make money. So a lot of people craft these helmets. Now you need these materials. You can purchase these off of the vendors or the auction house. Now some of these, like the titanium alloy, this is something that if you click on it and click source, this is going to be a barter for the medical bay. So it's kind of a rigmarole. You come over here, you buy the things, you spend this 221, then you get 4 alloys, then you come over here, use 2 of those alloys to craft the helmet. You kind of have to play the game and figure out what you craft, but this comes out to, you know, 200,000 or 100,000 Technic alloy to craft, and then I can sell it on the market for maybe 250 or 300,000. Obviously you can just use these things, the backpacks or the helmets, but most people end up crafting and then selling for a profit. A great example of this is ammo. Ammo, I know M80, I can get everything. Once again, these crates you need, you barter for them, same thing, but you can make like double your money on ammo. And once again, the higher level you are at this production site, the faster the ammo crafts. Right now it takes 7 hours for me to do M80, and then I can sell this on the market if I want or use it. And that's it. These can take a really long time. Like I said, 7 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours even, depending on what you're crafting. But this is also a very slept on thing. Some of the pros will tell you that they generate hundreds of thousands of Technic alloy a day just by putting this stuff on in the background, and at the end of their play session, you know, grabbing everything, throwing it up on the market. When they come back for their next play session, it's all sold and they've made a ton of money. Now, moving out of menus into something a little bit more exciting, let's talk about guns, ballistics, and the Gunsmith system in Delta Force. When you go over to Gunsmith, it's going to show you first kind of all the different guns you have. Then it's going to separate them all into their categories. And there's a lot to go over here, and some of this stuff can be incredibly valuable. So let's take a gun that I have pretty decently modded out like this AUG. This is everything I have on it. Now, from any screen, when you click on a gun, whether it's in raid, in your stash, or right here in the Gunsmith, this details page is incredibly valuable, because you might be wondering, what's the difference between control and handling? What is stability? What does handling versus accuracy do? Click the details button right here at the bottom. This is probably the most well broken down kind of ballistics page I've ever seen in any game. So first off, it's going to tell you how much damage your gun does and at what point that falls off, and what you're going to be doing to each body part. So 29 damage to the thorax, but there's a headshot multiplier. I'm doing exactly 55 damage to the head, 17 to the legs, stuff like that. Then it's breaking up each of those stats. So control is recoil. It's showing me what the base control stats of this gun are, what they currently are as a result of the attachments I have on the gun. The the average spray pattern of the AUG and what that spray pattern should look like now, how it's been affected by my attachments. Same thing with handling. Handling is your ADS speed, sprint to fire delay, all of that kind of stuff. Base stats, where the stats are now. Stability, the higher the stability, the less the weapon shakes during continuous fire, the less breathing effect aimings, and the less you flinch when you get hit. Right now on this gun, my stability is worse and accuracy is up. Accuracy is the tighter the shots when firing from the hip. It's going to show you the maximum spread, the walking spread, and the stationary spread. All of this updates as you put on attachments. So this is not only a great way to kind of just get an understanding of what these 4 attributes are, because that's all guns deal with, and as you put on attachments, you're going to be adjusting them, but it is also going to be a great way to visualize what these changes are and show you exactly how many different things something like handling affects. It's not just ADS, it's reload time, it's holster time, it's, walk speed, all of that kind of stuff. So this is incredibly valuable. Additionally, it's really important to note that this damage number here, you see, if we go through all the different guns, the damage changes, 29, 27, 29. That is going to be the damage no matter what ammo you have. Ammo in this game really is only determining the penetration value. We've got the color-coded system. There's gray, green, blue, purple, gold, red on some ammos, but the damage it's doing is baked into the gun. So the AUG is always going to do 29 base damage. Now there are modifiers for limbs, like we saw the headshot was 55, the leg was 15. That base damage is unchanged no matter what attachments or no matter what ammo you put into the gun. And then the armor penetration is going to be how much damage you are going to do to an armor, and that can change. We'll look in a second when we get in the firing range. Depending on what ammo you have, it's going to be mitigated by armor more or less, but it's important to know that these numbers are kind of baked into the gun, and the ammo is really only changing how high or low of a percent chance you have to pen a specific tier of armor. Now, we'll come back to that when we go into the firing range, but before we do, let's take a quick look at modifying weapons. This is very similar to something like Escape from Tarkov, but you don't have to worry about unlocking specific attachments because all attachments can be bought off the auction house. So we can go around here and just kind of like mess around with stuff. I can add a different muzzle brake if I want. I can add a different barrel. Now, when you're adding different things right here, you can see a live update of how it affects your stats, which is nice and to be expected. And then right here, I can purchase this item if I want. If I, do click this and then back out, it's going to go back to what I had before. If I do want to switch this, I either have to go ahead and purchase it right now, or I can preview it. And it's going to let you know, hey, you don't own this gun. You don't have this gun. You're previewing it, but you can kind of mess around here, click preview on anything. You don't have to worry about spending money. And then you can click this details, look at the stats, see if you like it. If you do, click purchase, and it's going to list off everything that you don't have on the gun. Or as you go, you can just click purchase when you're modifying something and build it as you go. Because once again, if I go over here and click the suppressor, as I'm clicking through, I can just look and see which one I want. I want control. I like to build for control, so I'm looking for that. Then I'll just purchase and go. Now, the second thing up here is the calibration. Now, this is something unique to Delta Force I haven't seen before, but this allows you to go into many of the attachments and specifically tune them to your liking. So the foregrip here, if I drag the thickness to the right, I'm getting additional stability when moving at the sacrifice of ADS movement speed, or vice versa. So with calibration, it's always a push-pull. Sometimes you can find an attachment that only gives you upside. This attachment is just better. It adds more control, adds more handling, and it doesn't take anything away. Calibration is always a trade-off between two things, but you can calibrate tons of attachments, and a lot of times you can calibrate them for control. The stock, if I, move the weight limit to the right, I gain extra control. I'm losing stability while breathing though, but I like hip fire and I like control. So a lot of times I'll just drag to as much additional control as I want. And a lot of different things can be calibrated, even the optics. So this is a base zoom of 3.5, but I can kind of take that down to a 3x scope or up to a 4x scope if, depending on the way I like it. So calibration is a really cool thing. If you're newer to the game, this is something you probably don't need to worry about. Like, you might not notice this right away, but it definitely has a big enough effect that as you start playing and as you start to feel what guns that you like speccing into a certain thing, calibration is actually very underrated. This can be very, very helpful. So definitely mess around with that as well. And then from here, you can set loadouts. So you can import or save loadouts. If you build a gun the way you like it, you can save it as a loadout. I just click save, create a name, click save there, and then boom, you have this loadout for whenever you want to use it. What's also nice is you can import loadouts. So this build that I have right now, if I copy this, pasted it down below, you guys imported this, it would be this exact same AUG. And a lot of people do that. I've got some videos where I've got some budget guns. You can copy those right in in here and import my presets, and then boom, everything, you just purchase it right off the flea market or the auction house, which is really nice. And then we have an appearance. If you have different skins for your gun, you can use them here, or different charms, you can assign them here. So that is kind of the general gist of how to manipulate, modify, calibrate, save a loadout for your gun. Now, when you're in the modify screen, bottom left-hand side, I've got my camera covering it, but right there in the bottom left, if we click this, we can enter the firing range. This is probably the most in-depth and the most helpful to a new player firing range I've ever seen in a video game. I definitely recommend you hop in here and learn some of this stuff. So if you go up to any target, you can manipulate how close or far away they are from you, the amount of base HP that they have, and then you can also put gear on them, which is very nice because it allows you to test your weapon against real world, armor, what other players would be wearing. Now, to showcase the firing range off and to kind of move the conversation into how ballistics and armor and gunplay work in Delta Force, I've kind of set the firing range up real quick. As you can see, I go up to here, you can, manipulate all this. I've set this guy up with a blue helmet, blue armor, purple helmet, purple armor, gold helmet, gold armor, and a red helmet, red armor. Up in the top left, it's going to show you, all the different damage that you're doing, how much each shot does, if you're doing damage or if you're just doing armor damage, all of that kind of stuff. And you can reset that with O, and there you go. If we hit tab, we're going to see what gun we have, all of the different ammos available, and we can equip these to change them around. So I'm going to start with blue ammo because that's kind of the common, lowest tier ammo I would recommend, especially if you're buying off of the market. Definitely start with blues. So this is when we're going to start to see the details page that we talked about earlier coming into play. Base damage 29, armor pen 35. Now, these are also manipulated slightly by the ammos. For example, if I click on this blue ammo, I can see that it's got a penetration rating of level 3, and if we go armor penetration fall off and we click on this, it's kind of showing us roughly the amount of armor pen it's going to do against different armors. So being blue, levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's going to do 90% of that armor penetration damage. So 35 is the armor penetration we're supposed to see. If we shoot this blue vest, we can see that it does 31.5 armor damage. So it did 90% of the armor damage, but because it's a blue armor and a blue ammo penned, and it went through and some of that 29 damage got dealt in HP damage. If we move over here to the red, based on what we're seeing here, if we click on the ammo, click on the armor fault penetration fall off, this should do about 40% of its armor penetration against a level 6 armor. So we shoot him once in the chest and we do 14 damage to the armor, which is 40% of the 35 damage, and none of the actual damage went through because we did not penetrate that armor. So you can go through here and, get a general understanding of this stuff. I highly recommend you move through here and just kind of put armor on dummies and shoot them, but it's good to understand the kind of like base systems and how they work. Those numbers, the 29 and the 35, are baked into the gun, but the ammo is going to tell you how likely it's going to penetrate a specific armor and how much damage is going to fall off, how much of that armor pen is going to fall off, depending on what class of armor that you use. Now, I know that system seems pretty dense. You've got the damage, the armor pen, and then each bullet kind of, modifies those numbers depending on what armor you're shooting, depending on what ammo that you have. It's good to have an understanding of that so you can kind of reverse engineer it. But once again, practically, the firing range is set up that we can kind of like do these pseudo tests and just get a more practical understanding. So for example, I've got blue ammo here shooting, once again, all these different targets. If we take a look at what the time to kill straight up thorax 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to kill someone in blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you see the difference there is 3 additional rounds when you're shooting against purple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we can see that the difference between the best, 500,000 Technic Alloy armor and blue, very cheap, goes from 5 shots to kill to 11 shots to kill. So this has been one of the criticisms levied against Delta Force, is that the time to kill delta between very cheap armor and very expensive armor doesn't seem to be that high, especially since most guns in this game are going to be full auto. So with this 60 round mag, I can, lay out every single person on this whole line and have rounds to spare. The time to kill is not that long, and this is with blue ammo. I would say the most common thing, especially once you get up into the harder lobbies, swap over to purple ammo. You can keep most of this in your secure container and just keep, maybe just enough for 1 mag. And then we can kind of like practically, let's actually see the difference between this. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're killing that in 1 less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So as you can see, everything basically shifted to the right. So with blue ammo against blue armor, it was 5 shots to kill. Now that I have purple ammo, it's 4 shots to kill, and it's 5 shots to kill this guy. So the time to kill, especially with faster fire rate guns, can be extremely quick. The Vector has been meta for a while because its burst damage is absolutely insane. So a pretty complicated system. The firing range is your best friend for figuring out, how fast you're going to kill enemies, how worth it armors are. I would say generally you're fighting people with blue or purple ammo and with blue or purple armors. Once you get up to the higher lobbies and the really end game maps, you're going to have people bringing some of the higher tier stuff. But I would say most players would agree investing in better ammo and then either just replacing your armor as you go, or, kind of just hoping to kill somebody with better armor than you. Ammo is probably the most important investment when it comes to time to kill, because you're just rendering whole groups of armors basically useless. With purple armor basically doesn't exist. It only takes 1 additional shot to kill someone with purple armor than blue and all the way down. And then if you've got a mag of gold ammo, well, that means gold armor basically doesn't exist, and the time to kill difference between purple armor and blue armor would be nothing because you're just penetrating right through that. So they have talked about increasing that and changing some of the values of the armors. I will pin a comment down below if that has changed, but this is definitely going to be your best friend hopping into the firing range and figuring out how it feels, because there's the numbers and the calculations and the percentages, but how it feels to you is kind of the most important thing. The other really cool thing about the firing range is you can go in here, you can click F on a gun, and you can modify any weapon that you want to any spec you want with that preview thing. Remember, you don't have to actually buy the things in here. You can build out a gun you want, hop into the firing range and test it. So if you want to spec a gun fully into control, fully into handling, fully into stability, then hop into the firing range and, jump around with it, shoot it, see what the recoil is like at different ranges and stuff like that. This is a great use for the firing range as well to test weapons. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy the ammo. You don't have to buy the attachments, and you can kind of see what you like. So that is the firing range and kind of the 10,000 foot view of how armor and ammo works in the game. It can be complicated and granular, but practically speaking, the time to kill in this game is generally very quick. And I would say generally try to invest in the best ammo that you can, and most of your fights will go your way, hopefully. Now we're back on the auction site to talk a little bit about the medical gameplay and how that works. You saw when we were talking about ballistics that, it was showing the different damage it does to different body parts. Well, when you're healing, you have those body parts as well. You've got legs, your stomach, your thorax, your arms, and your head. And you have a total HP pool of 100. As you get shot, you're going to, your armor is going to get damaged. You're going to get damaged. And there's a bunch of different status effects that can happen to you. Basically, these are all the medical items in the game in terms of what's actually going to heal you. They're broken up into med kits, painkillers, surgery kits, and then kind of just miscellaneous healing items. So if you click on any of these, once again, this doesn't need to be too in-depth because all of this stuff is built into the game. That's what's nice about this game, is it actually tells you everything. But the injectors are going to just heal you for a certain amount of HP. Same with the med kits. As you step up in quality of any item, it's going to heal you faster for more HP, and it's going to do additional things as well. So this has 90 durability. It recovers 6 HP per second. If we go up to the field med crate, this has 800 durability. It heals you for 30 HP per second, and it heals a wound. So same thing with the surgery kits. The simple surgery kit only has 2 uses, and it takes 10 seconds, and it heals a broken limb. If we go up to the best surgery kit, it can be used in 5 seconds, and it removes all other debuffs on whatever limb it's being used to fix as well. So obviously higher quality, more better. It's going to heal you for more, and it's going to use faster. Now, some of the status effects that you can get is you can get a wound, which is separate from a break. A wound or a break can cause pain, which is why you want painkillers. If you've broken your leg or if you have a wound in your leg, your movement speed is going to be reduced. If you have a wound or a fracture on your body anywhere, you might get blurry vision. Painkillers remove the debuffs from wounds, and they're just various different lengths. So this one has 1 use, it's 200 seconds. The bottle is 240 seconds, and you can use it 3 times. The purple bottle, 360 seconds of pain relief and 5 uses. So similar to Escape from Tarkov, if you take this before a fight, if you're getting shot at, if you're getting fractures, or if you're getting wounds, you're not going to be getting that blurry vision. You're not going to be getting that movement speed penalty, but they wear out and they're not actually healing you at all. The tourniquets and the bandages will heal wounds. If wounds go untreated, then you can get bleeds, and those bleeds will obviously slowly kill you. It can be a little complicated at any given time. In the bottom center of your screen, it shows you all of the different status effects you have. I will definitely say surgery kits are used very frequently. You get, fractures a lot in this game, so you definitely want to bring surgery kits. Even early game, moving up to these green 4-use surgery kits as soon as possible can be very valuable because you just end up with lots of breaks. These kind of like really cheap meds do actually have value sometimes. Bringing a cat tourniquet means you can heal a wound in 2.5 seconds. Even if you wanted to bring, the really expensive meds, this heals a wound, but this takes 3.5 seconds. This takes 4 seconds. If you wanted to do this, that takes 5 seconds. So there can be value in bringing the really cheap meds for specific items. But the goal is, as you kind of make money and move up, the higher tier meds kind of do everything. You can get away with going into a raid with just the surgery kit and an outdoor med because they both heal wounds and remove debuffs in addition to healing and in addition to doing surgery. Painkillers can be very nice to pop before a fight, but the medical system in and of itself is pretty simple. Syringes and first aid kits are the same thing. They just heal you. Syringes just do it a little bit faster. So just try and keep an eye on what you have. And you can even go in here to click and see what, removes what. The wound is this icon, the break is this icon, and the more you play, the more you'll pick up on that kind of stuff. Separate from that, you have the repair kits, and these are incredibly valuable to learn as well because your armor will break very, very fast in Delta Force. So these are color coded. They have more HP. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. A helmet repair kit only repairs helmets, and a vest repair kit only repairs your ballistic vest. They have durability 75 out of 75 versus 50 out of 50 for the blue versus the purple. The gold vest repair kit has 120, and the red goes up to, I believe, 200. It's really important to know the color of the repair kit you're bringing and the color of the armor you're repairing. For example, you generally want to pair the same color with the same color, blue versus blue. If you only have a blue vest repair kit and you have a purple or a gold armor and you try to use this, this will basically consume all 50 of this durability and only repair that armor, that purple armor, by like 3 or 4 durability. It's almost useless to use a repair kit of any kind for a tier below the armor that you're wearing. If you try to repair a gold armor with this blue, it would literally do nothing. It would just consume the item and maybe give 1 durability. Now, it works kind of the other way as well. I like bringing a gold vest repair kit, putting it in my secure container when I'm running purple armor because I'm going to get more value out of it. This 75, if I have a purple armor and I got shot a bunch and it's like 0 durability, I can use this to repair my armor, but now this repair kit is only going to have like 25 durability left. Like it's not going to be able to repair a whole nother purple armor. It's worth keeping around, but it's not going to be great. This gold repair kit with 120 durability, repairing a full purple armor might only take 30 or 28 of the durability. So you definitely want to step up or at least use the same color repair kit. All the same things apply to the helmet, and you don't really ever want to be using below what you have. Every time you repair an armor, its maximum durability goes down a little bit. So if you brought in an armor and it was 100 durability, that's what it had. Even if you repair it with a gold repair kit, it's going to go up to 95. If you get chunks down again, you repair it 92, 80, and at some point it's not worth running the armor anymore. That kind of diminishing of max durability is expedited by using worse repair kits. Using a blue one on a purple will just reduce that max durability even faster. So repair kits are very important, not to be overlooked. I would recommend, keeping one in your secure container if you don't want to buy one every raid, but you absolutely should have one if you have an armor, especially, blue or up. If you have an armor you spend some money on, you definitely want a repair kit because armors get junked very quickly. The last type of medical item is going to be the syringes. These actually can be really valuable. None of these heal you like a Propital or an ETG out of Escape from Tarkov, but they can increase your stamina, how much your movement speed when you're overweight, even your hearing distance in some areas. So these can be really nice if you're trying to get to the other side of the map for an extract or trying to make a rotate on somebody, or you're just in a really long fight. Some of these stimulants that increase your max stamina or instantly refill your stamina bar can be really nice to use. So you can, once again, just click through these. They're very self-explanatory, but once again, not to be overlooked, these can be very helpful as well. All right, so now that we have a decent understanding of all of the high tier systems in the game, if you wanted to get ready to gear up for a raid, this is how you would do it. You would click the map selector down here. If you click on a map, you can see up in the top right, there's an easy mode and a normal mode for some maps. Basically, the normal mode, and then there is a hard mode, but they kind of got rid of it. I'm sure they'll bring it back eventually. What that's going to do is it's going to have a required entry value. your gear has to be worth at least 112,500 Technic alloy to go into a normal mode. You have to be level 12. And this is going to increase the loot that's on the map, increase the value of all the things you get from killing bosses, or increase the likelihood of you finding rare loot. And this also kind of attracts the more sweaty players. So you're also most likely going to be fighting much more geared players with much more expensive loot as well. And increases the amount of money you can get from doing contracts and stuff like that. And it increases the Mandel Brick spawn. We'll talk about the Mandel Brick here in a second. So there's easy and normal. Not all maps have both. Sometimes they rotate out, but that's the difference there. Additionally, the way the maps work is that right now there's 3 maps and 2 of them kind of rotate. So you have Zero Dam, once again, easy or normal. Leali Grove sometimes has normal mode, sometimes only has easy mode. And then Brackish and Space City basically kind of flip-flop. So Space City is going to go live again, you know, at January 14th, 2300, and Brackish is open right now. Brackish and Space City currently only have normal mode. So those are the end game maps. So there is no easy mode. It's only normal mode. There used to be a hard mode for Space City. I'm not sure if they're going to bring that back, but that's kind of how the map rotation works. And then Operation Serpentine is an entirely PvE experience. It's like a raid. It's, you know, long drawn out PvE encounter. Once you do normal mode, you unlock hard. Once you do hard, you unlock Inferno. You get these vouchers, and then you can basically claim those vouchers for a potential. It's, you know, all these things are kind of a little bit of gotcha mechanics, but the potential to get pretty good loot. So if you click on these, every time you claim or redeem one of these vouchers you get from completing the raid mode, you have the potential to get a pretty sick skin or some really high value loot, or most likely a green box or 10k Technic alloy. But it's cool to know that this experience is in the game, a PvE experience. I hope they do more of this because it kind of is new content to do that's, you know, less PvP focused. Additionally, you will not lose anything that you bring. So no gear or supplies will be consumed. So you can set up a kit, go try to do it. If it's too hard or you die, you come back, you still have all your stuff. Maybe you set up a different kit, you go in and do it as well. So there is some synergy. The more you do this, the more potential you have to earn actual items or money that you can use for PvP raids. But that is the Operation Serpentine. Pretty cool. Definitely check it out. Pick your difficulty, click gear up. Now, this screen is your best friend. So we talked about all the different menus and all the different places. Go to the auction house, go to this, go to that to barter for this. This screen is your best friend because from here you can view everything I have in my stash. So these are the 3 helmets I have in my stash. These are all the helmets in the game. What it's listing is the current cheapest price on the auction house. So if I wanted this helmet, I would just click this, click purchase, boom, it automatically equips it. So from this screen, you can just go through if you don't have any of this in your stash, or even if you do, but you don't want to sort through your stash, you can just go through here, click on everything, see the different armors I have, backpacks, buy what you need. And then the same applies to ammo. If I click ammo here, it shows what my primary weapon is. It shows me how much of each ammo I have in my stash. And as I just click through here, I'm using these. If I want even more, now it's showing me the amount I would have to pay to buy this much ammo. So this is incredibly helpful. Same thing with meds. All the meds available right here. If it's got a little icon down here, that means you have some of them. So I can use one of those, one of these, one of those, one of these. You throw them on, you buy them all, you put them where you want them. All that can be done from this screen. Now, it's important to know 2 things about what is equipped. Any meds similar to Tarkov need to be up in your rig or in your pockets to be used. Any med in your backpack will not automatically be usable on your hotbar. You'll have to go into your backpack, right click it and click use. Similar with ammo. Any ammo that you have that you want to use has to be in your pockets or your chest rig, or your gun won't reload to it. There are no magazines in this game for guns. You have 1 magazine and you just reload it. So bring all the ammo that you want to use. You can keep a bunch of it in your secure container, but if you're going to reload your gun, you have to have at least something in your pockets or in your chest rig. And as you reload, it just uses that. If you hold the R key, a radial menu will come up. And if you have multiple different quality of ammos in your pocket, it will ask you which one you want to reload to. So sometimes I have blue ammo in my gun for when I'm shooting AI. And if we hear players roll up, I will hold R, scroll to my purple ammo, and then he'll replace the ammo in the gun with the purple ammo. And then now I can get into that PvP encounter. So those are very valuable to know. Your chest rig and your pockets, that's where stuff you want to use has to be. Now, before we leave the screen, there's a few other important things to know. Right here above the confirm button is the gear set. This is kind of in lieu of something like a scav run. You get these gear set tickets by playing the game, doing events, battle pass, and even just playing regularly. And these tickets tickets are basically good for a free kit. So they're broken into 3 categories: recruit, standard, and elite. The elite is really good gear, standard is kind of like general gear, and recruit is very budget gear. So if I click this, it's going to fully equip this entire kit onto me. I cannot edit or adjust this. You can bring extra ammo or meds in your safe box if you want, but you can't change anything about this kit once you select it. The recruit tickets are approximately 50,000 alloy kits. The standards are 200,000 and the elites are 400,000. You get these recruit and standard tickets very frequently. You can only hold 5 standard and 10 recruits, but definitely feel free to use them. You get them pretty frequently, and this is a great way to just like hop in super quick, maybe do a recruit run where you're trying to do like a budget run, like a come up run where you just get this bolty, go shoot an AI, hope he has an optic, throw it on, and then just snowball up, you know, kill a PMC. So these are a great way to use a free kit. And if you have a full 5 out of 5 or 10 out of 10, anytime you get a new one, it's just converted to currency. So if you have 10, you're probably getting more and they're going to waste. So use them when you need them because you'll definitely get more. And then the last thing about the loadout screen here is in the bottom, once again, my camera's covering it, but in the bottom left right there, if you click L or if you click the loadout button, this is where you can save full top to bottom loadouts, chest rig, backpack, gun, armor, meds where you want them, ammo where you want it, everything exactly how you want it. You can save a loadout to any of these empty things, or there's this previous loadout. So the last raid I ran before I died, I had this exact loadout: AUG, this ammo, this armor, this backpack, everything. So this can be really nice because if you do build a kit with a gun that you don't normally use, or maybe you're trying out something new and it's not something you would normally have a, you know, saved loadout for, and you die immediately and you really want to run that kit again, you can just go previous loadout and it populates everything from the last raid that you did. And then there's a couple recommended kits here as well. So this is an important screen as well. Once you're fully kitted up and you're ready to go, you click confirm. It's going to give you some warnings. It's going to let you know like, hey, your backpack is half full, or there's stuff in your safe box. Are you sure you want to do that? Once you're good, just click continue, and then you're ready to queue up for a raid. Right above the start button here, we have the squad fill on or off. This is a game very focused on teams of 3. So if you go solo, you will almost exclusively run into teams of 3. They've talked about maybe adding a solo queue, but most of the time I would say play with friends or turn squad fill on. It can be toxic. There's a little bit of protection. If you unlock a locked keycard room, there's loot protection. That loot is only yours for about a minute, but if you kill somebody, your teammate can definitely go scoop your loot. But once again, very squad focused game. And then the ranked system. Ranked is not a great word for this. We've gotten some clarification from Delta Force. Ranked is basically more a tracking system. If you check or uncheck ranked, you're not going into separate queues. There isn't a ranked queue and a non-ranked queue. It's basically you're turning off or on the tracking of your progress. As you get up to the higher ranks, if you do poorly in a match, you're going to lose rank points. And if you do well, you're going to gain rank points. You can go through here and kind of like see what the ladder is, going from bronze all the way up to Delta Force Pinnacle. You can see what the different rewards you are. Currently I'm Blackhawk. I'm, not quite Delta Force Pinnacle. And you can see what the leaderboards are, who's up at the top, who of your friends are up at the top, that kind of stuff. If you're interested in rank, that's a good qualification there. It is not a separate queue. It's just tracking your progress. Now, lastly, before you queue into a raid, we should talk about these menus down here at the bottom, which are all of the events and the currencies and the skins and how that kind of stuff works. So we'll start from the right and go to the left. So the collection, this is where it's going to show all of the different skins that you have for your different guns. So you can mess with your skins right here, how many melee weapons you have, the Mandel Brick, which we're going to talk about here in a second, and items. As you progress through the battle pass, whether it's the free or paid version, you'll oftentimes get these crates. All of those crates that you get, you might get them from quests as well. They're going to go here in your items thing. So this crate, this is exactly what it is. It's a full vector kit, gold armor, gold backpack, kitted out vector, purple meds. Boom. If I click use, that's going to input all that stuff into my stash. My stash is normally pretty full, so I kind of keep these crates for when I want to use them. I've got good ammo I can open up, these elite gear tickets, timed access to bigger secure containers. All of that stuff is going to be in your items here. And then the deluxe collection is also going to be related to the Mandel Brick, which we'll talk about here in a second. The events tab. This is a little crazy. The Delta Force normally literally has like 10 or 15 different events going on at any given time, which is really cool in that there is always content to do. There's always like something, even if you've grinded through all the missions, there's always something to do, which is really cool. But the way this is all displayed can be very confusing. I am not going to go through every single one of them and explain, mostly because these rotate out very frequently. So all of these are going to change probably by the time you see this, but it's worth just kind of getting a feel for these and noodling around and figuring out what they mean, because there are oftentimes a lot of good rewards to get. You will have dailies, so operations dailies. You're going to have, just every day you've got some quests and you can get some gear by doing that. And then there are also some that are like store related. So the weekend benefits is always this Technic Alloy store. You can purchase quantum keys for the Mandel Brick. You can purchase the GTI vouchers, that kind of stuff. And these kind of refresh every week. But most of these are just kind of like weekly, seasonally, or monthly events that rotate in and out that allow you to get cosmetics, some good gear, unlock operators, or something like that. So these are all the events, complicated, but worth navigating a little bit. Now we have to talk about the Mandel Brick. So Mandel Bricks are kind of like an endgame PvP catalyst event that can happen in any raid. As you step up into the higher difficulties, the Mandel Bricks are more likely to happen. But basically, this brick, this thing shows up on your map, and you and your team try to go get it. You pull it out of some place, and then you have to go decode the Mandel Brick somewhere else. It shows on your mini map. You put it in the decoder. You have to defend that Mandel Brick for a few minutes. Once you've defended it, the other members of your team, whoever didn't actually insert it, they have to then go get a copy of it. And then boom, even if you die, you've secured yourself a Mandel Brick. While you have the Mandel Brick, everybody else in that raid can see your location at all times on the map by tracking the Mandel Brick. So it is a giant kind of catalyst for PvP. And when you get back to your stash, you have that Mandel Brick and you decode it, you open it for rare skins in the game. Well, you hope for rare skins. There's lots of common skins and, the kind of like uber rare skin you want from this season's worth of Mandel Bricks is the Spectrum Blitz M4 skin. If we move over here to the Mandel Brick and click the kind of hamburger icon here, you can see the drop chance. So if you have a Mandel Brick, you've got a 0.3% chance of pulling the Spectrum Blitz, and then all the different percentages for each of the different skins in this collection. I imagine these are going to rotate every single season. And then this is kind of an exchange where if you have a Mandel Brick, you can also choose to sell that Mandel Brick if you want on the market. Right now, Mandel Bricks are going for between 144 and 165 coins. The cheapest average deal recently is 142. And this is a good moment to kind of talk about some of the currencies in the game. The Delta coins are going to be the kind of stock standard currency you pay real money for. The only way you get Delta coins is you pay real money. The only way to buy Mandel Bricks is to transfer those Delta coins into Mandel coins and then purchase them with that. It's a one-to-one transfer. This step is largely irrelevant. There is no other way to get Mandel coins other than to buy Delta coins with real money and then just change them for Mandel coins. It is a very confusing system, but you would do that, then you would buy the Mandel Brick. If you have a Mandel Brick, in order to open it, you need a quantum key. We showed that there's a few different ways to get quantum keys. You can go to the Technic Alloy store and buy quantum keys for, 800K Technic Alloy or 1.2 million. There's also, if you go to the actual store, which we'll come back to in a little bit, you can buy for 60 Delta tickets, which is a separate currency. It's kind of a mess, but it is a cool mechanic. It makes the raids feel exciting because it's a dynamic kind of like PvP catalyst, and it's nice to be able to kind of have the market where you can buy the Mandel Bricks. Now, when you sell a Mandel Brick on the market, you do not receive this premium currency. You receive the separate currency called Delta tickets. So you don't have Delta coins, you have Delta tickets. You can use those Delta tickets to buy the quantum key like we just showed, or if we go over to the store here, you can use those Delta tickets to actually buy skins from the skin bundle. So this is just the regular storefront where you have all the different packs of skins and operator skins and stuff like that. And if you click on any bundle, you can see that you can buy the entire bundle with 2,400 Delta coins if you just wanted to pay real money, or 2,400 Delta tickets. Additionally, I'll move my camera again, you can pick out individual skins. So if I didn't want to spend 2,400 on this entire pack, I can just buy this M7 skin for 1,150 Delta tickets. You get a discount and you're just buying one, or you can buy the whole pack and get all the, freebie stuff as well. So it is nice that you can actually farm Mandel Bricks as you see them, sell them on the market, and then collect a decent amount of Delta tickets, and then use that to actually buy skins in the game. I think that's a really cool system. However, you cannot use the Delta tickets to buy skins that come from the Mandel Brick. You can only use them in the storefront to buy those skins. If, however, you get yourself a Mandel Brick and a Quantum Key and you open it and skins aren't really your thing, well, you can actually sell that skin on the marketplace as well. You can sell the Mandel Brick for $145 because, you don't really know what you're going to get and the chances of getting anything good are low. But let's say you pull this Ash 12 skin out. It's a purple skin. It's one of the more rare ones, but not the super rare. Well, you can actually sell this for 230 Delta coins. Now, once again, this is a little confusing. If I wanted to buy this skin, I have to pay Delta coins. So if you want to buy skins off the market, if you want to bypass the Mandel Brick and buy the rare skins, you have to use real money. You have to use Delta coins. If I bought this Ash 12 skin right here, whoever is selling it, they do not receive Delta coins. They receive Delta tickets. Once again, so he unboxed this Ash 12. He doesn't want it. He sells it to me. I buy it for currency that I pay real money for. What he gets is Delta tickets. He cannot then go buy this AK skin because he wanted this instead with those Delta tickets. He has to buy something out of the store. Once again, cool that you can farm stuff in game to go and buy stuff from the store, but a little bit of a bummer that you can't, find a rare skin, sell it, and then buy one of the other rare skins because you wanted something different instead. But it's important to know that if you do open a Mandel Brick and you get a rare skin and you don't want it, you can actually sell these skins. And sometimes in the case of if you got the Spectrum Blitz, I don't know what these are actually selling for, definitely not 50,000, but you can sell this stuff for a lot more than you can sell the Mandel Brick for. So that is the story with the Mandel Bricks. Once again, it's more so just like a PvP catalyst and a way to very passively sell them on the market and earn some Delta tickets as a way to maybe buy some skins. But it is a really cool, conceptually dynamic addition to the raids that you play. And when you hear that, when you see it on your map, or when you hear Mandel Brick picked up or Mandel Brick spotted, now you kind of know what that is. Once again, here's the regular storefront where you can buy the different packs. And then of course you have the season pass. You can buy the season pass just for the operations mode for just under $7. And it's got quite a lot of it here. Once again, there is a free battle pass where, you're missing out on a lot of this stuff, but as you move up, anything that says free, you're going to get as you level up. You can also retroactively buy it and then you get all the rewards up to the level that you had. And mostly right at the beginning, you get some really valuable things. The 2x3 safe box, you get that for the entire season. You get a Quantum Key right at the beginning. We're not sure what season 2 is going to look like yet. It's probably launched by the time this video is out, but battle pass is very stock standard. As you level up, you get extra stuff. There's normally a cap on how much battle pass experience you can get at the beginning of a season, and then they raise or take away that cap at the end of the season. It's got a lot to it, 150 levels, and it's under $7. So if you enjoy the game, it's pretty solid value. That is all of the menus and the systems and the kind of stuff. Once again, I said it was dense and maybe a little bit boring even, but if you made it through this far into the video, hopefully you have a really solid understanding of Delta Force and how this game works, and hopefully you're more confident going into your raid. So with everything that we talked about in this video, the only thing left to do is really hop into a raid. So I want to kind of break down the flow of raids and what you should be looking for and kind of how to navigate when you're diving into your first few raids. The first thing to really talk about is the map. At any point, you can pull up the map, and this is extremely helpful at kind of like removing a lot of the friction of the game. It's going to show you everything that you need to know, what quests you have, where they are. Right there on the left is going to be a list of the quests that you have for the map that you're on, which is really nice. Additionally, throughout the map, you're going to have little icons, the kind of diamond-shaped ones. Those also indicate where you have a specific quest. So it's going to let you know where you need to go. And if you click on either the quest on the left, or if you click on the little diamond, it's going to give you a little breakdown there of what you have to actually do. The map is also going to be showing you your extraction points. Some of them require something specific to happen, like pulling the lever to open up the dam. Some of them you have to pay money to extract, or you need to turn in something before you can extract. Some of them are not there all the time. They're only up sometimes. So it's kind of a gamble going there. And some of them are going to be there all the time. And once again, if you hover over them, it's going to explain to you which one is which for each of these. And then it's also going to show you where some of the loots are, some of the dynamic safes that are on the maps. All the other players also see this though, so beware of that. And then on the right, you kind of have a legend of some of the other things that you're looking at on the map as well. An important thing to know is you're not always going to see this, but that Mandel Brick that we talked about looks like this on the map, and it's showing you where the Mandel Brick actually is and where the decoding stations are. So whether you want to go for it or not, it's actually really important to know where it is, because if you don't want to go for it, you kind of know where to avoid, because that is probably going to be a PvP hot zone. Now, something you should start paying attention to immediately as soon as you start playing the game is the spawn points. In a lot of the maps, you can spawn pretty close to other teams. You actually are almost always relatively close to another team, and if you're not careful, you can run into combat very early, into PvP combat. And because the spawns are relatively static, the players that play a lot kind of start to memorize where they are, and they start pushing those spawns very frequently. So I have this map pulled up, which I will link down below, and this will show you all the spawn points. Now, I think it's only 5 or 6 teams that spawn on this map, Zero Dam, so not every single one of these spawns will be populated, but it is kind of good to get a feel for all the different places that you spawn, so that when you spawn, you can kind of know, okay, where can enemies potentially be? What is the closest place an enemy can be for me? And you can have that information. This is going to be extremely important to learn and start to memorize so that you can increase how successful you are, because it's frustrating to kind of unwittingly run into a team right off the rip, and then your whole raid is over really before it began. Then with each map, obviously you're going to want to start to kind of put together the rotations. Here on Zero Dam, for example, the admin area up at the north side of the map is kind of the most dense PvP hotspot, but as you can see, there are these POIs around the map: major substation, cement plant, visitor center. These are all places you're going to have quests. These are all places with a decent amount of loot. So just because the admin area might be the hot zone doesn't mean you're not going to run into people, and learning how to rotate to and from these places in different ways is going to be really important. Once again, whether you want to go for PvP or avoid it, knowing how to traverse the map and knowing, you know, all the different ways you can get into a specific point of interest or out of a specific point of interest can be very helpful. Once again, this isn't something you should be expected to know right off the rip. You don't need to have everything memorized on Zero Dam before you play a raid, but it's important to learn and understand kind of where these major points of interest are, because that helps you put together where you're most likely going to be seeing other players and helps you prepare accordingly. And then lastly, of course, the most fun thing we have to talk about is the loot. Once again, like I said at the very beginning of the video, the loot economy in this game actually is pretty fun. The dopamine is pretty high when you find the really good loot. There is so much more loot on these maps than just what's shown on this map. It's going to show you a few of the safes to kind of give you an idea of where you can go, but there are lots of safes that are unmarked in dynamic different areas. So, you know, the more you kind of rotate around, if you find something, if you find an unmarked safe, keep an eye on that location in the future. And then there really is loot in more places than you think. The safes are obviously going to be the places that you want to go and get the really rare items, but you can get insanely good items out of just about anything. Loot every flight case, every bag that you see, and there's even loot in places that you might not suspect. If you hear an audio cue, there's most likely loot nearby. If you're hearing rats, then there's probably a sewer grate nearby that you can loot. If you're hearing birds chirp, then there's probably a bird's nest nearby. And even these big cement trucks that you walk by, you can activate the panel in the back of the truck and loot will fall out. I have seen reds come out of all 3 of those different places. So while the safes or the keycard rooms might be the giga loot spots that you want to get to, don't sleep on the loose loot around the map. You can actually find really good stuff from there, and this is across all the map. But ultimately, that is it. At this point, there's really no substitute for just getting in there, playing the game, learning the maps, and getting more time into it. If you are struggling playing the game, obviously it's an extraction shooter and you can lose stuff and you can kind of go on a lost streak and really feel like you don't have anything left. I would definitely suggest using those gear tickets as you get them. You know, look for a come up, and if you're really down bad, I've even seen people have huge come ups with knife runs, you know, knifing an AI, the first AI they see, they take that AI kit and they just move on. I know that games like this are focused a lot on PvP, but definitely don't be afraid to try and do more of a loot run. Try maybe squad fill and get some other people who are trying to do that, or even solo queue and just try to avoid PvP. You can use all this information that you've learned to hopefully avoid combat. You can listen for fights, you know where the spawns are, you know where the POIs are, and you would actually be surprised at how much money that you can make kind of skirting the edges of the map, looting things like the sewer grates or just random bags. It's not sexy, but it can be very effective. And on the flip side, if you don't really want to worry too much about looting, but you love PvP, PvP is actually probably one of the best ways to make money in this game. Player loot, attachments on guns, ammo, all this stuff can be sold on the market, on the auction house, and fetches a huge price. So whether you're looking for PvP or not, there are always ways to kind of have the come up there if you're struggling. And so after all that information in this video, I thought it would be cool to kind of end the video with an actual raid that we did, give you an idea of how we rotate through the map, what the PvP is like, what the loot is like, and how we get out. Like we said, long, dense video, but I'm hoping that everything in here is helpful and valuable to you if you're a new player. So let's go ahead and check out some of this gameplay.
Players coming down. Visitors still as well.
That was where I wanted to shoot my arrow, was over here, so we could...
Got it.
Got AI here.
Changing mag. Activated.
I don't even know what.
Sounds like they're fighting.
Yeah.
What are you saying? You don't
Maybe
know
this was the other team and they just went right into admin.
Right in admin, I would agree.
Search for items needed for the operation.
Yeah, they looted this manhole.
They surely know we're coming.
Where are you?
End of the hallway.
Yep.
I'm nading down there. He's by the secret
Going
room.
fast. Got them pinned down.
Close left in the room, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
That's him in front. Right here.
Come this way.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Reloading.
Yakshamesh. I have a chair. King of the castle.
King of the castle.
Ah la 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 la.
Wait, what's that?
More players.
Whose stuff is this?
He killed a tank. It looks like.
We can peek
It looks
in.
like they killed 2 of the team. Yeah, the boss might have been here. Perhaps they killed boss. I think he could sometimes have that, right? It's either that or the
Oh,
M249.
you might be right.
I might be onto something.
You
Jack.
might be.
Oh, the end of the hall right here.
Like end of the bridge there, brother?
Oh yeah, end of the bridge. Yeah. Oh, he's roasted.
Yeah, they did kill another team.
Big time.
They just broke glass.
Yeah, that was by elevator, I think.
Let's go
Yeah,
here.
I'm peeking this little crack hole, but I'm hearing a lot of running under us. I guess it's AI.
Maybe
You
they.
hear all that running fix, right?
Yeah. Some of it's definitely AI, but
Oh no, they're in the
Oh,
hole.
yeah,
no,
yeah,
they're
that's
outside, shooting through the window.
yeah.
Which hall?
They're like
Right-
the hole, like they're out
right
back
where we
by the
came from.
containers. Yeah, even like on the building more,
Yeah.
or they're shooting up through the hole.
I think one of them dropped down out the window and is now trying to get cute. They opened the door below.
Wait, so they're not in the other wing.
Negative.
I don't know.
They're
I mean,
underneath
there
us,
could
I
be a
think.
straggler. Yeah,
I'm like
still
peeking
here.
outside, and I don't see anybody like outside.
Oh, other balcony, other balcony. The one in the computer room balcony.
Yeah, well, there's still one over there, minimum.
Yeah, yeah. There's one below us.
It's like mad close, boys. I'm holding this stairwell from the balcony outside, but
Let's go here.
if he flies up this stairs, he's up the floor hole. He's up the floor hole. He's cracked in there. He went down the floor hole now.
This way.
I think they're all on our side now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's one on Jesse, or is he below? I
He's
can't-
below.
He
Below.
went in the floor. He went in the hole.
Yeah.
Nading your hole. Fire in your hole.
Nade my hole, please.
Fire
He's
in your
he's
hole.
healing down here.
Fire in the hole. Missed.
Mad hurt. He's mad hurt. Can I climb back up this? Okay, okay.
Missed.
I legged him.
We jump down here. We could like
Yeah, I'm down.
peek him. All right, I'm here.
Find them.
Yeah, he's right out here. One down, one down, one down.
Nice.
0 hits
Where-
on that.
Nice.
Got
Good
that
work.
guy.
Left here. No?
Yeah.
Probably.
Nice.
Loading new mag.
Nice job.
Oh, there's mad footsteps above again?
I feel like there's still a guy above for
Do you have
sure.
a- oh, we don't have a hack. That's right. We switched.
Yeah, he just took pills, I think. Yeah, he just vibrant ulted. He's down. One down. One down.
Changing mags. Tossing grenade.
Is he right here?
Maybe.
There's AI on me.
Can we take the jump up? Back up?
Yeah, we
Full
can.
silent for a second. Hear that?
Yeah.
No, that's AI.
These guys boxed.
Yeah. But I thought I heard one more.
Damn. Kind of juicy. Got a nice little
bad.
vector.
Yeah, not terrible. You know, guys, these guys who said that they're random got a fiber, aramid fiber, and left.
Oh. Just a blue fiber. Why don't do that?
There will not be a third arriving.
Oh, that's what we're hearing, bro. Stupid freaking pyro below us.
This might come in handy.
Gold backpack down here if anyone wants it.
Oh, not. My God.
Is that AI fix?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was so mad.
Okay, so that's 3 teams plus us. Could be a wipe ski.
Yeah, that was a lot of dudes.
Yep.
3 teams plus us, and then the very first team we fought a team and killed a team.
Yeah, that's what I was taking. So 2 up there, we're 3, last one's 4. Is there usually 5? Maybe 5 sometimes? Have we been able to figure that out?
I think
Definitely.
5,
I think
yeah.
it's 5 every time, yeah.
Okay, so there might be one more team lingering. Unless I just miscounted the bodies in there.
No, because
Streamer math.
no. We
Well,
fought a
2
team up top. That team fought a team. So just up top is 2 plus us is 3, and we just fought 2 teams down here.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was 2 teams in the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah.
Right,
So
that's a
that's a
lobby. All right,
swipe.
I'm starting the wall breaker. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, I love it.
Now we get in. Be
I'm gonna
ready
hit
to
my
clear the
control
garrison
key
and
real
seize the
quick.
air defense facilities.
Yeah, you do that. I like that. It's been a juicy room for you today.
Yeah, the key's a mill. You get 10 uses if you use them all in normal, and I found the server, which
connected
was
to the air defense
1.5,
network.
so
Stop.
all the rest was profit.
Victory. You guys took that gold bag, right?
I did it.
No, there was a gold bag down there.
Time for them
I
to
left it
suffer
for
the
you, dude.
consequences.
It's the kind of guy I am.
Oh, nice. He's so
Kind
sweet.
of guy I am.
No, I already had a gold bag. Sorry.
The
For,
launch successful. The damn gate has been
So
destroyed.
special.
for a minute, I had you.
Use the drill to breach the vault.
Zajama.
Time for red, guys. $1 million red minimum.
Minimum. It's about damn time I found a heart. Or one of us did. You want me to wait here and pull the button once the drill goes in, Giggity?
Sure.
It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. I haven't played a lot of DMC, to be honest. With
Just in
DMC
general, I'm just bad at aiming when it requires me to track
The
vertically.
elevator in zero dam is activated.
Oh, I gotta mute.
Extract from there now.
Ooh, hot summer. I got the
Dang it.
remedy.
Did you get one, bro?
Did
I feel like there's a better chance of the Heart of Africa in the mini safe than there is in the actual these
I
safes.
more than 100% agree. Darn, there was a one slot. If it would have pulled that right there after saying that.
Manifest.
6 mil on TikTok.
Don't worry though, my viral clip with 6 million views would have gotten knocked for a DMCA, so it's okay.
And all the revenue goes to some band that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, Jesse, remember that shit that I told you about how I was doing that PUBG watch party for him and the band on the site? Like,
Oh,
I got
yeah.
copyrighted? I guess I submitted my dispute and they just never looked at it, so they cleared it. So I was like, all right, W.
Nice.
They're like, your dispute has not been reviewed for 30 days. Therefore, the money's yours. I was like, thanks, guys.
You win.
I really appreciate that 79 cents.
Yeah.
That strategy would work with like this game? Like,
Maybe.
for all the
I would
ones
just
I got
dispute the
shared?
copyright claim and see if what happens.
This might be useful.
There's no negative for doing that. Right?
Exactly. No, yeah, I mean, as long as, like, I think you just can't, like, maliciously dispute it just to dispute it,
Get
but
out
if
now.
you believe that, like, it's not true,
Yeah.
figure it out, I guess. Somebody take that gold coin down there. I found another pocket watch. Problem is, these pocket watches aren't really worth all that much in a bag of chips, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, for one slot, 200K ain't bad.
Yeah, I mean, the min-max is phenomenal. You're not lying there.
Ham
it's
don't get
red,
out
I
of
just-
bed for anything under 900K.
Yeah, if it's red, it better be worth $1 million.
Well, that was kind of juicy. That was a good one.
Too bad. Yeah, there was one red.
Dude, that
one
was
gold.
like, that was textbook, man. We fought 4 squads, got decent loot. That's what you want out of a
Did the
zero
wall
dam.
breaker.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Where are they hiding?
Dude, Byron's so cool.
Dude, you can
It's
get
great.
far with it too.
10 seconds left. Be ready to go.
Using blinding gas.
Oh,
The exit path is
what's up, Wires?
Jeez,
Yo,
that
I've been
was a
on
good
this
one.
for like 4 days. Where you been?
Siege indeed, boys. That was a juicer across the board.
What were you guys out there?
Once again, super long, super dense video, but I really hope that it helped. Everything is timestamped down below. Feel free to come back later if you forgot something, but I really hope this set you up and got you excited to play Delta Force. I'm going to be streaming Delta Force a lot for season 2 and beyond on Twitch and here on YouTube. All those links will be down below. If you're looking for people to play with, our Discord's a pretty awesome place to be, and we're opening up more Delta Force channels in there as well. That link is down below as well. If you like the video, think about dropping a like or commenting down below, or even subscribing to the channel for more content like this. I definitely want to continue to cover Delta Force in addition to Tarkov and the other games I cover. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.